Hello, thank you so much for joining me on my YouTube channel today. This is Allison Haikila and I'm really grateful that you're here. I am doing another YouTube hop with some of my very best crafty friends. The ladies that are hopping along with me today are some of my closest friends and they have really helped get me through the crazy of 2020 and 2021. So I am super grateful for them and I'm really stoked that we're going to be doing a YouTube hop together. So this card was made by my daughter Rhiannon, and this is what inspired me to make my card today. The ladies that are hopping with me today, we decided that we're going to do a sparkle blend hop. So sparkle blends are the brainchild of one of my other very good friends. Her name is Amber and she owns Doodles Paper Playground, and we are all obsessed with sparkle blends. Sparkle blends are a sequin mix brand, and they're all limited edition and they're all amazing and beautiful and fun to work with. And that's what we decided to use as a theme for this month. So if you have ever seen me do lives before, you have probably heard my daughter Rhiannon helping out. She is always my right-hand lady. She's always great with the comments and whatnot. So I decided to kind of case her card. I'm inspired by it and I think she did a great job. And the blend that she used is the one that I'm going to use today, and it's called Making Magic. It's one of the newest sparkle blends, and I am obsessed with it. I'm going to be using the same stamp that she used, which is from Sassy and Crafty, and it's called Imagine Magic. And I think we're going to get started. So I have the stamp set that I used right here, just to show you what else is in this set. It's a big set. It's got a lot of really cool things in it. I'm crazy about this stamp set. And we're going to work with that. I also have this stencil from Brutus Monroe. This is part of their monthly stencil subscription, so I got that from there. And then, of course, the star of the show is the Making Magic Sparkle Blend. So you can see that in here, there are little planchettes. That's what you use for a Ouija board, right there. There are these adorable little crystal balls, and then there's cauldrons in here too, which are super cute. See that little cauldron? So cute. And then there's glow-in-the-dark moons, and I love the colors. They're so fun, and there's lots of holographic things too. So that's the blend that we're going to use. And to save some time, I have already cut out and colored my focal image. So with that, we are going to get started with the background. I was also inspired by Jennifer McGuire's trapped inking technique. I've done this before and I'm going to do a slightly different version of it for this card. So that's why we need this stencil. So essentially in the trapped ink technique, you can use a stencil. There are a bunch of different ways that you can do it, and you ink it up with, in her video she used distress oxides, but I decided to use pigment ink from Imagine. This is a Versacolor. It's called Mint. And the reason I decided to use a pigment ink is because then I have eliminated a step by using a pigment ink which stays wet for a long time. Whereas with dye-based inks or even hybrids, they don't necessarily stay wet long enough to emboss, which is how you trap the ink and allow yourself the ability to then ink the rest of the card without messing up whatever you've stenciled before. So I am going to just ink up this entire panel, and then we are going to heat emboss it. Okay, I've inked up the entire thing, and that's what it looks like. So now, like I mentioned, this is a pigment ink which stays wet for a long time, and it allows you to emboss it. So we are going to take some clear embossing powder. This is a detail clear powder from Stampendous. I'm just going to drop this on here. And now I am going to heat set it. The background is all nice and melted. You can see that shine on there, and now we can start adding some ink to the rest of the panel. What's going to happen is we are going to have our crystal ball and hands right there in the middle of that circular area there. So I have pulled a few different colors of distress ink. I have chipped sapphire, I have salty ocean, and I have broken china. And we are going to apply these shades of blue to the background. I'm going to start off with salty ocean. And I'm going to apply it right here to the background, like so. It's not going to look real pretty at first, but it'll look better when we keep working on it. Just inking this color up, working in a circular motion. I'm going to have the lightest shade, which is Salty Ocean here, and then I'm going to work out to the Broken China, and then to the Chipped Sapphire, which is our darkest tone. So now I'm going in with the Broken China, blending as we go. Just working that color in, and you can see how those stars are starting to really pop. They're going to pop even more once we wipe off the excess ink from the top of them, because the clear embossing powder resists the ink. So you can buff that excess ink away and it's going to get really shiny. So now I'm going to go in with Chipped Sapphire. And this is a nice deep blue. It's a dramatic blue against that mint color that we used for the stars. It makes the stars look as though they're glowing. See that? I'm going to add a little bit over here just to give it some more depth. There we go. Perfect. And now I'm going to just wipe away the excess ink with my cloth, and it's going to make it really pop. See? They look like they're glowing. I decided we needed some sparkle in that background, so I'm going to use some Sheer Shimmer Spritz in Sparkle. I gave it a good shake. You can see that there's no mica hanging out on the bottom there. So what we're going to do is just tap this all across the background, and once that dries, it's going to be nice and shiny, and it's going to help the distress ink react a bit. This is what I often use instead of using water, just to give it some shine and sparkle. So you can see that the ink is starting to react, and I'm going to let that sit for a moment, and then I'm going to lift that up, and we're going to start working on our shaker. You can see that the edges are starting to get dark around those droplets, which is just what I wanted. So now I'm going to lift this up. Well, I'm going to put this down first, and then I'll lift it up to show you. There we go. See that shine? Beautiful. So pretty. Okay, so let's get started on our shaker while that dries. I have a fantastic piece of holographic cardstock that I'm going to use for the back of my crystal ball. So I'm just going to take a piece of this and chop it off to be about the size of the ball. And I can finesse it a bit after. And I'm just going to cut this down like so. I prefer to have some type of backing piece whenever I make a shaker. This way I can make the shaker and it'll be closed off, and I don't have to worry about accidentally knocking into it or anything like that. It's closed off, it's done, and it's good to go. So now I'm going to just tack off a little bit more of this so that none of this shows from the front, just like that. A little bit more right here. There we go. Perfect. That's going to be the background. So now what we need to do is we need to add some foam tape to this. So to make that circle, I am going to take my foam tape. This is from Pear Blossom Press. It's a nice thick foam tape. It cuts beautifully, and the release paper comes off really easily as well. So I'm going to cut this in half. which is a trick that I often do to just kind of save some of it. I don't necessarily need to use the width that it comes in, especially around here. It's really skinny. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to start to peel the backing paper off of it like this. And that is going to allow me to make the foam tape bend easier because the foam is flexible. It's the release paper that isn't. So if you remove the release paper, you can get it to go around curves pretty easily. There we go. Need just a little bit more right there. So I'm going to take the other piece that we cut, butt it up right against that. You want to make sure that you have a solid connection there so that nothing falls out of your shaker. And then I'm going to cut this off. Just like that. And I'm also going to make sure that nothing shows. So you can see that it's showing a bit. So I'm going to have to fix that. Okay, I trimmed that back a bit and I added some more foam to the rest of the piece, and you can see that you don't see the foam anymore. So now what we're going to do is add our shaker bits to the inside, and of course my dog is howling outside. I don't know if you can hear him, but somebody must be walking by our house and it is disrupting their nap time. Okay, so I'm going to add a few more pieces in here. I want to make sure I have at least one of these green caviar beads in it. Guys, do you see what I did? So we're going to leave this in. So it's officially a blooper reel. I didn't put acetate on it. You guys, I didn't put acetate. So for somebody that makes shakers at least once a week, you would think that I wouldn't forget something as important as the acetate. Well, I did. So, and why am I going to start over? I'm not going to start over. I'm going to just keep going. And you guys that have seen me do my Facebook Lives know that sometimes things happen and I get distracted. I guess this is the beauty of not doing a voiceover. You know, I got to leave all this stuff in. All right, so now I've got my acetate. I'm sticking it down. I left all of the rest of the foam tape in place, and now I'm going to just stick this stuff back down again. Okay, so now we're going to try it again, and you can see that there is actually acetate this time. So I am going to just get some of these gorgeous little sparkle blends in here, like so. That looks pretty good. I like it. I'm going to add a little purple bead here, and we're going to just go with that. Yeah. No editing skills here, folks. Not yet. Maybe soon. I need to get one of these planchettes in here. See, I'm so used to doing lives, and, you know, you would think that I would not make a mistake like that, but I did. Okay, so now I'm going to put my holographic backer on here and hope that that's going to look fantastic. And if we need to trim it, we can. Get that on there so that our shaker is nice and sealed. Look at that. All right, so we saved it. I got a little bit that I have to trim off here. All right, so my background is nice and dry. This baby is ready to go. We are going to add a sentiment, and I also need to ink up my card base a little bit. So we are going to stick this on here. I'm just peeling off. You see how nicely that backer tape comes off? So nice. All right, almost done with that. And of course we have to add some adhesive right here so that that area sticks as well. Just going to add that on there like so. And then this is going to go right in the middle of that circle. There we go. I think that's pretty good. I hope so, because if it's not, it's too late. Also, we are going to ink up our card base. So I have Wisteria ink. This is from Altenew. It's the crisp dye ink. It's a nice soft shade of purple, and it works really well with the purple that is in the sparkle blend. And I'm just going around the edges really quickly. There we go. A little bit more up top. You're not going to see a lot of this. It doesn't matter if it's a little rough and messy. It's just going to be the border. And that's going to go right there like that. Perfect. And now I am going to take this sentiment, which is may the magic within shine through. You guys, this video is I hope you stick with me to the end because this is a hot mess today. I'm trying really hard. Whew. It's all good. It's all good. It's going to be a great card when we're done. So we're going to heat emboss that onto a piece of cardstock. I'm going to be right back with that finished. So here is my sentiment strip. I'm going to put it right up here because the way the stencil was made, there are no stars over here. So we're going to stick it right up here. I'm going to get my adhesive and I'm going to stick some adhesive right on the back of this, and then I'm going to cut off the excess. I really do want you guys to know that I appreciate you sticking with me through this. It may seem like this video is a little rough around the edges, but you know, when is crafting ever perfect? I mean, it's never perfect for me. I just enjoy doing it and taking, you know, errors and learning from them and trying not to make the same mistakes again, etc., etc. So I appreciate you hanging out, and hopefully you've learned something. And know that you may make mistakes too, and you're not alone, because here you go. I've made a couple of mistakes today, and that's all right. We are working through them, and we are coming out with a fantastic card. And we are celebrating sparkle blends and the magic that is not only within all of the sparkle blends, but that is within all of you. I hope you like this card. I think it came out pretty awesome, and you'd never know that there were mistakes made. To my lovely crafty friends that are hopping along with me today, I love you all so much. Thank you for being amazing, and I hope to hop with you again soon. So thanks for hanging out on my channel today. I hope to see you guys again soon. Peace out.